If you've been wanting to feel truly confident within yourself, show up in the world as your most authentic, badass, magnetic self, and empowered to take the action that you want, this is honestly the most important video you can ever watch on confidence. And that is a very bold statement, but I stand by it. And I'm going to guide you through 7 incredible steps. So after this video, you will completely have transformed your relationship with yourself and ready to show up in the world how you truly want to. As always, timestamps are in the description below in case you need them. Number 2, 4, and 7 are my personal favorites. Make sure you do not miss those. And in case you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, so you always get notified when I put out new videos on how to create your most abundant, successful, fulfilled life. In case you don't know me and you're wondering, who is that person to make such a bold claim that this is the most important video on confidence? Hi, my name is Liv. I am a serial entrepreneur turned international certified mastery coach. And I have not only transformed my own relationship with confidence. Oh wow, I used to have such low self-esteem. I felt like a huge failure. I was isolating from the world. I had no job. I was in debt. To then go on to build my confidence that completely changed my life forever. Moving to different countries, building several businesses, doing what I love, and also especially helping hundreds of people change their life through their confidence. That's exactly how I know what I'm about to share with you truly works. Before I give you step number 1, I think it's really important that we first clear a misunderstanding and that you really understand what I'm teaching you here, how that is real confidence and not what so much content online is teaching us that I call roller coaster confident or borrowed confidence. And what I mean by that, and maybe you can relate, maybe you've done the affirmations or you're practicing positive mindset, but you feel like there's just still something that hasn't clicked. It will click after this video. But what a lot of people teach is when I call borrowed, it's like when you get that hit of outside validation or confirmation, or now you reached that goal and then you're thriving on confidence, but something happens and it kind of goes away again. That's why I call it the roller coaster too. So when we're looking for certain actions and our behavior to validate us, or we're looking for outside people or circumstances to validate us, we've outsourced our power. That's not true confidence, because anything we're gaining from the outside world can be taken away from us. So what I want you to have, and what I want to teach you how to tap into in this video, is real, authentic confidence that doesn't go anywhere. A confidence that you can tap into at any point, no matter what anyone says. So whatever happens, you can tap into this place within you where you can be free to be yourself and make the right choices for you in your life. So step number 1 is taking your power back by understanding the truth of who you really are, because this is going to transform your relationship with yourself. So I always share in my programs that you have the resourced self. This is like your higher self, your soul, your essence. And then there's the unresourced self, the ego, the fear-based mind, the monkey mind, our fears and limitations. And all of this is welcome because we're not robots. We're here for the whole human experience. And we don't want to judge the unresourced part of us, because only ego judges ego. So, but the reason why I want you to really take this in is to understand that your insecurities or the stories or the thoughts in your mind saying, I'm not ready yet, I don't have what it takes, they won't like me, maybe they'll laugh at me, I'll never be able to do this, whatever the stories are, they're just that. They're stories. They're patterns. It's just an energy coming to visit and move through. It is not the truth of who you really are. So why does this come to visit? Your mind is not wired to be happy and to go for your dreams. Your mind is wired to keep you safe. And same for your nervous system. It just wants you to survive. So when you know that, this is beautiful, because now you can detach from it and realize that, oh, it's not that I am, it's not that you are insecure, or it's really a part of my biology, but it's not the truth of who I am, because I also have my soul, I have my resource self. So a metaphor that I love using for this is, imagine that you're driving a car and you have a child with you in the car. Now you can imagine that it's a child you love, it's your own inner child, it's a part of you. So you're driving this car and now the child starts screaming, saying, no, stop the car, stop, stop. If you keep driving, we're gonna fall off the face of the earth because the earth is flat. So let me ask you, in this moment, how will you respond? How are you going to react? If it's a child you love, I'm sure that you would probably look at the child, or you would try to reassure that the child is safe. And then you would make sure that the child stays in the car, but they're certainly not in the driver's seat. They don't get to drive the car. Maybe put them in the back seat. So this is how I actually want to invite you to start looking at your insecurities as that child. It just comes up to try to protect you. It wants something good for you. It wants to keep you safe, but it's not always speaking the truth. It doesn't always really know what it's doing. But by you now knowing that it's innocent and it's only trying to protect you, now you can release all that judgment, all the frustration towards yourself. I shouldn't be feeling this way. I should be further ahead. I wish I wasn't like this. All the judgment and whatever we resist persists. So if that's our approach, it's kind of like having a shadow that never leaves. Whereas, and this is getting me to step number 2, when you, and this is life-changing. Let's take a breath, really ground into this. When you secure the insecurity, it goes away. Because that energy or those thoughts and stories of insecurity, all that it was ever looking for was for you to meet, accept, and embrace it. Because whatever you accept, you're free. Whatever you accept, you can release. So here's how I love to do this. 2 things, and it's so important. First, your emotions. So when you feel insecure, maybe you can pick something in your mind right now. Maybe it's working into a certain situation at work, or it's with other people, or it's showing up online, whatever it is for you. That emotion, however that feels in your body, remember, an emotion is just energy in motion. So you want to breathe through that somatically without attaching a ton of story and analyzing. Just notice how this is really, the insecurity is just an energy that's coming up. And I can feel it, I can breathe through it, and I'm safe. I'm actually good in this very moment. I'm safe. Even though it may feel uncomfortable, maybe it's not how I desire to feel right now, but if I can just let that energy move through me, then it can release. Otherwise, we trap and the energy stays in the body, and it's like that shadow that doesn't leave. So feel the energy, let it move through. Number 2 is, and this is a game changer, just like the metaphor of having the car and the child. Look at your insecurity or your fear, the stories that are looping. Identify what they are. Because an emotion and how you feel was always ignited by a thought. So in any moment when you're feeling insecure, you can stop and really tune into, okay, what thought caused this feeling of insecurity? Well, maybe the thought was, they will judge me, they won't like me, they don't accept me, I'm not good enough. This part of you that's coming to visit, give it the mic, hand the mic and give it a voice. And then you can ask that part of you, how are you trying to protect me in this moment? How are you trying to keep me safe? And then get really specific, because when you're vague, the ego can keep looping. But when you get specific, the ego completely loses its hold. So maybe this part of you is saying that, and this can relate to any situation, any area in your entire life. But let's say that the situation is that you want to build a business. And then the stories, the insecurity is, oh, but people, what if they think it's ridiculous? What if they think it's stupid? What if my family judge me? And what if the work that I deliver is not good enough for my clients? And it's all this fear here. And you ask all of that insecurity, how are you trying to keep me safe? Do you feel how you take that strong charge right out of it? Because you acknowledge the innocence that it holds. And maybe the fear would say, I'm just trying to keep you safe. I'm just trying to make sure you don't get hurt. I'm just trying to make sure that you stay in your comfort zone and nothing happens to you that's bad, or you don't get sad. And then you can tap into your resource side, your essence and soul. Okay, but is this something that I would really love to do in my life? Would I love to show up expressing my authentic self and being myself in this world? Because listen, this is another thing. None of you, nothing about you is a coincidence or a mistake. Your soul came here to be the fullest expression of you. Your soul came here to express your authentic self. So another thing you can do is when you identify the thought or the story that's causing the emotions of insecurity, the I'm not good enough, you can ask, can I know without a shadow of a doubt that that is 100% the only truth in this universe? No, you can't know that you're not good enough. And then maybe your resourced self says, well, and if I don't try, I will never know. So in that way, just to sum it up, you release the energy through your body and you have a conversation from your resource part with your unresourced, your insecure part. And in that way, you secure the insecurity. And there's no longer this war going on inside of you. It gets on board and now you can move forward. Now you can continue stepping into who you truly came into this life to be. Now, step number 3 is building trust within yourself. So let me start by asking you this question. When you look at your life and the people in your life, who do you trust the most? And I love this. So there was done so many studies on this, like the people that we trust the most. And what they found was that it's the people who keep their word. So if you confide in a friend and they say, yes, you can share your secrets, I'm not going to tell anyone, and you just know that person keeps their word, or you need help, someone drive you to the airport at 5 a.m. and you know if that person says, yes, I'm going to show up for you, they keep their word. Those are the people you trust. So it's the same thing with yourself. Now it is time for you to build trust within yourself, and how you can start really doing that is always keep your word. Do not make promises to yourself that you're not going to keep. And it goes for both the quote unquote little things and big things. And I say quote unquote because what's really little and what's big, like that's all up for interpretation, right? There's no big or small. It's all important. So let's say you start saying, oh, tomorrow I'm going to work out, and then you don't do it. Or, oh, tomorrow I'm going to reach out to that person, or I'm going to post that video online, or make that bold move, and I don't do it. So you're building distrust within yourself because unconsciously you know, well, you can't really trust yourself. So what's so important is that you start making commitments that you follow through on. And you can start with the smaller things. So let's say you've been wanting, and this goes for anything. You can relate this to dating or to your health or anything. But just to give you a tangible example, let's say you've been wanting to build an online business. And now you say, I'm going to post on social media 7 days a week. But that really feels like a stretch, and you don't have a rhythm yet, and you don't have that muscle trained yet for that, and your nervous system isn't quite there where that feels safe and natural. So you already kind of know, intuitively feel that, yeah, I'm going to say that, but I'm probably not going to follow through. You really want to catch that. You want to catch that inner niggle and say, okay, well, you know what, then let me make a commitment where I do build myself up. So maybe I say that I'm going to post on social media 3 to 4 times a week, and I'm going to build a rhythm, and then and then I'm doing it, and then I'm building this trust in myself because the things that I say I'm going to do, I'm really going to do it. And then it becomes easier and easier to expand and stretch from there. Again, that was just one example. And this is really where you want to set yourself up to succeed. Step number 4 is taking action. So let's build on what we've already talked about. But first, I want to share this Brendon Burchard quote that I love. He says, doubt increases with inaction. Clarity reveals itself in the moment. Growth comes from progress. And for all these reasons, begin. I love it. You feel free to take a screenshot and save it if you want. So the thing is, with all the mindset work, now you want to embody and anchor all of that in with a new behavior through action. Because we could talk about mindset and all these things all day long, but it doesn't rewire within you and it doesn't change your life until you anchor it in your behavior through action. So right now, what we just in the previous step, we just talked about how you can start showing up for the promises that you're making for yourself. So building on that too, what is something that you want to commit to? What is something that feels doable, but it also feels like a stretch? It feels like a little bit like maybe it makes you a bit nervous. Then I want you to pull out your calendar or set an alarm on your phone and commit to doing that thing. So is it reaching out to that person? Is it getting on the sales call? Is it asking for a raise? Is it posting on social media? Put that in your calendar and commit to it. And if you feel all those feels of, oh, I'm not good enough and I can't do it and I'm not ready yet, then you want to go back and do the process I shared with you in step 1 and 2. You can also ask yourself, okay, so what am I avoiding doing? If there's something you want to do, but you've been avoiding it, it's because there's fear, there's insecurity there. Truth is that your comfort zone of who you are being, your current way of doing that is your current comfort zone. But once you stretch that, you create a brand new comfort zone for yourself. So for instance, when I first wanted to build my online business, I wanted to do webinars and host free webinars. The first webinar I hosted, I'm telling you, I was so nervous. I didn't sleep the whole night before. Thank God it was in the morning. And I kept running to the bathroom and I was shaking. But the thing is, because I let the insecurity and I let the fear be there, because building confidence is uncomfortable. So when you want to take action, something that is so key is for you to decide right now. Okay, take a breath and really take this in. Decide to be okay with being uncomfortable. Because I allowed that and the discomfort and all the feels, but I knew they were innocent. I knew they were trying to just protect me. And I had a conversation with that part within myself. I was like, okay, how are you trying to keep me safe? Okay, I want to make sure that I'm not exiled from society. You want to make sure people don't laugh at me. They don't think I'm ridiculous. Okay, but the truth is that if I let that part drive the car and drive my life, I will never know what I could have possibly built. And I went on to build an incredible business, right? So now to this day, my comfort zone has expanded. You can wake me up at 4 a.m. and I can host any kind of webinar and I feel fine, because now my nervous system and my human biology knows that it is safe for me to do so. But I would have never gotten to the point where that feels great and that feels natural and normal if I had not kept taking action and showing up with the discomfort. So whatever your comfort zone is now, just know it is never, ever, ever set in stone. And very soon you can have a brand new comfort zone and a brand new way of showing up in life. Step number 5, I want you to become really aware of the language that you use, whether it's when you talk about yourself out loud or the thoughts and stories in your mind. So I love this saying that whatever follows I am is going to come looking for you. And maybe you've heard me say that before. So if you're saying I am insecure, I am clumsy, I am not ready yet, I am whatever that is, you're solidifying that as part of your identity. You really want to stop doing that. So you see people who are like, I am depressed, I have anxiety. We really want to cancel that out of our language completely, because your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's imagination, what you say, or what's real. So, and it's a go-getter, wants to prove you right. So instead you could shift and say, oh, right now I'm feeling the energy of nervousness. I'm experiencing a feeling of insecurity right now, but you're taking your power back. You're knowing it's not the truth of who I am. And then you can start saying, I am building my confidence. The reason I didn't say like affirmations were like, I am so confident. If that resonates with you, amazing. Then go ahead and use all the affirmations and mantras that you want to. But if it feels like a stretch and if it doesn't feel true to you, yes, We can rewire and question that. That's another video for another day. But what you can do is start saying things using language that your body and your energy does buy into. I am building confidence. I am becoming. I am in the becoming. I'm becoming the woman of my dreams. I am building. I'm in the process of building the life I always dreamt of living. And it is safe for me to show up as my authentic self. Start using language, whether you journal about it or you start talking to yourself, talking to the universe. It is so, so, so powerful. You want to speak your manifestations, speak what you want into being. Number 6 is really light and easy, and it can be so fun, and that is to use your physiology. So really tune in and imagine right now the most confident version of yourself. How do they walk? How do they walk down the street? How are you walking around in your house? And then use your power poses. So if you got up and you walked around, right, and you're like, I'm so insecure and I'm not good enough, you feel, and now I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you could even pause right now and do this test. Get up and walk around. I'm insecure and I don't have what it takes. How's your vibration? How's your physiology? Whereas if you say, I am so excited, I've got this, I'm building confidence like never before, I just watched this video with Liv and I'm changing my relationship with myself, or I got this. You could even start doing this with integrating it into your morning ritual. Do the power pose, like be like Wonder Woman or like Superman, or start clapping at yourself or jump around. Do something where that's in your physiology. You're really triggering to your brain to think, oh wow, I'm energized. Oh wow, I'm confident. That will help with your rewiring process and really getting it into your nervous system. And if there is a certain pose that you like, and you could do this at home, don't worry about looking silly. Or if you want to do the quick shift up during your day, go have a bathroom break and do like a pose, like something where you're like, I've got this. And they say that it takes 1 to 2 minutes for the energy to really shift. And I always love adding music to this to integrate it even more, and then feel how your energy and your vibration start shifting. Now, our final step, number 7, is something that people don't talk about enough, I think. So maybe if you're into manifestation, you've heard this, and that's the power of visualization, because your subconscious mind that is running 95% of your programming. Yes, it is so wild and it is so, so, so powerful. And that's why in my programs, I always include rewiring through the subconscious mind. But the truth is that the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and what's real. So when you start activating and using this for yourself, imagine a scenario right now. Pick a scenario, something that you'd really, really love to do, but you feel like you haven't had the confidence or the courage to do it yet. Just identify something. So again, this could relate to any area of life, but one thing that I hear from my entrepreneur clients is sometimes getting on sales calls or hosting a live event or public speaking. So what you want to do, let's just use the example of public speaking. And again, you can use this with anything. So what you want to do is to really close your eyes. Of course, only do that right now if you're not driving or anything and it's safe for you to do so. But you want to close your eyes and you want to breathe to get yourself, start hacking your brain waves to really come into a way more relaxed state. And then visualize yourself in that situation and how you would love for the outcome to be. So let's say that you are getting on a sales call and it's on Zoom. You visualize, you put yourself in that moment as if it is happening right here, right now. And then so you get on Zoom and you're hosting this sales call and you imagine, you visualize, and you feel into yourself showing up really grounded and centered, vibrant and magnetic in your energy because you're enthusiastic and passionate about your services or what you could help this potential client with. really see and visualize and feel everything, how you're showing up, how you're presenting, what you're sharing with them, how confident you are in their response. And you can layer on visualizing and manifesting their response, that they're an instant yes, they're ready to sign up, pay full price. Again, your subconscious mind does not know that this is not reality. So you're actually expanding your comfort zone. You're stretching your comfort zone even without the action. So hacking this system, I like to call it hacking the system, using this visualization and then start taking the action. It's just a golden match because now you're rewiring at such a powerful level. Let me know in the comments below which one of these steps was your favorite, which shifted something in you. And if you want to expand even more into this, my course, $1 Million Confidence, is right now at 50% off. So I've linked it below. Go make sure to check that out if you want to anchor this in and build even more on this. And because you're still here, you watched till the end, I'm also going to link a few other videos that I truly believe will support you. I am so grateful you're here and I can't wait to see you in the next video.